ladies and gentlemen, comes straight from the mean streets of Toluca Lake. So you know he's hip and or with it. Put your hands together for Mr. Rudy Baumer!
The biggest challenge of being an engineer by day and a comedian by night is it can be very busy.
And I'll tell you what my favorite thing in the world is. When people come up to me and say, Bomer, that sounds like boner. Because that's awesome. I get to share humor with the world.
Back in the day, when I think kids either wanted to be astronauts or they wanted to be race car drivers, and I was in the astronaut camp. Taking the progression going from majoring in aerospace engineering at University of Arizona and then going to MIT, and then they came to me. JPL was pretty much the best opportunity out there, I thought, so that was a tough thing to say no to. You know, for the longest time I was afraid to tell anyone at JPL that I did stand up, mainly because I felt like I was representing the lab and I didn't really want to represent this place in a negative light.
Believe it or not, my parents have never seen me perform. That, for the longest time, has been my choice. I think in that sense, you're also representing your family, so I was real nervous about that.
Actually, I'll say this, we were the only Jews that lived in that town. So when we moved, we ethnically cleansed our own town.
There's two missions I think that were really interesting that I worked on personally. One was a Cassini mission to Saturn. I can proudly say that I was one of the first 20 or so people to see the surface of that moon. Another opportunity I got was working on the Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter. This is a high gain antenna that turns so it's always facing the Earth, so it's always spewing data to us. I was involved with two relay lander supports, landed assets. One was, of course, the Curiosity rover that just landed in August, and another one 4 years ago was the Phoenix Mars lander. So it was really exciting to be a proxy part of those landings.
We gotta build a rocket and go to the moon. I'm like, dude, you're a barista. Right? Exactly what are you bringing to the table?
I get the feeling that the public perception of engineers is that we're all, completely focused on our monitors, and anytime that we're not focused on those, we are focused on comic books. I always joke that we're a cross-section of the population, except with good credit.
And now that we've established that I'm a genius, what's up with stupid people?
I can tell you that my heart was racing faster and faster and faster up until I had to go up there. My heart was just racing a mile a minute. And I went up there and I was prepared, and out came my preparation, out came my words. I think naturally I'm a pretty shy person. So doing stand-up actually forced me to conquer that to some degree. I think it's a good yin-yang with my job. People have their job and then they go home and they have their families. In a sense, this is kind of my family.
You have these moments of mortality where you're not going to have the people around you for forever. I would like to have my parents come see me sometime soon. I'm not entirely sure when, but I'm going to make that happen.
What I get out of performing on stage is maybe just that feeling of love.
They asked me, have you ever committed a crime for which you have not been caught? I swear, they asked me this. Like, what am I possibly going to say, right? Like, well, now that you mention it.
Comedy has been therapeutic. I call it surfing without the water. It's almost like riding waves of laughter. I would say that I'm open to changes down the road. I might try comedy for a little while and then see if I like that as a career. I've seen a lot of people leave JPL looking for greener grass, greener pastures, and they end up coming back. So I keep that in mind as well, that I'm in a pretty good spot where I'm at right now.